More than 90% of startups fail, and that's the hard truth. In today's video, we're going to talk about the most common reasons why a startup fails, and also how to mitigate these issues and increase our chances to be one of that 10%. Also, stay tuned till the end of this video to see how I went through this process. So, without further ado, let's hit it. What's up, Notjust developers? This is the first week of Notjust Startup Challenge, and I'm super excited to get started. In this challenge, I'm going to build a startup and share it publicly here with you on YouTube, both from the technical side and from the business and marketing side. So to get back on the topic for today, what are the most common reasons why startups fail? Well, they range from bad marketing, bad partnership, being outcompeted, not raising enough funds or not being able to raise any funds, running out of money, and also not smashing that like button. Seriously guys, it takes only 1.7 seconds to pause the video, hit the like button, return back, and we can continue. Alright, back to the video. So all of those are pretty reasonable reasons, but today I want to talk about one that impacts so many people, so many startups, and also it's quite easy to mitigate with some homework. And here I'm talking about building something that nobody needs. To understand better how we get into this situation where we build something, release it, and then nobody needs, let's have a look at two ways of starting a startup. So the first way starts with an idea. You come up with an idea, you get super excited about that, and the next step is one of the most important ones. You don't speak with anyone about that idea because anyone can steal it. So don't talk with anyone, sit down and spend 1 or 2 years building this idea. Or if you don't have the skills of coding, hire a developer, pay him thousands of dollars in order to build that $1 million idea. And after all of this hustle, after everything is done, it's time to release it. So the next step is to actually release it and wait for the magic to happen. Alright, there is no magic, of course. Alright, that's definitely not how to go about it if you want to validate fast and if you want to get to the market as fast as possible. So now let's see a better way of approaching this problem, a better way to start a startup, and also in this way I'm gonna share with you the journey that I went through these days in order to validate my idea. So the first step is to start with a target group. And preferably, you should choose a target group that you are a part of, you are a member of, because it's gonna make your life easier in the next steps, and also you are part of this group, it's easier for you to understand these people and to talk the same language with them. This is a completely different market. You have to infiltrate in that market. You have to join their groups. If they are online, you have to find where they hang out online. Is it on Facebook? Is it on subreddit or Facebook groups? Anywhere where your people are, you should go there and start listening to them, start joining conversation, and try to get a feel of the community itself. For my project, the target group that I want to work with are of course developers. But developers, it's a very broad term and we need to be much more specific, because what a senior developer needs and the problems he has is very different compared to someone who is just getting started. So for that reason, I'm gonna focus on beginner programmers or people who are just getting started on their journey, or also people who already got started, have some experience, but also are in this active phase of learning new skills and improving themselves. I chose this target group because it will be much easier for me having the channel, having all of you guys here to validate the idea, to test it, and also to bring some value to you guys. Having this channel, I see already a lot of patterns in the comments, in the requests that the people ask, in the questions that they ask me. I see a lot of patterns of potential problems, potential issues that more people encounter, and that already sparked some ideas for me. However, at this step, this is not our focus. I don't want to have a clear vision of the end product yet in my mind. I just want to focus on the problems, validate them, and based on the feedback and based on the things that people need, then think about the end solution and the end application that we will build. This leads me to the next step, and the next step is find the problem. Being in this community, you will soon start hearing patterns, you'll soon start hearing same complaints from the community. Something like, oh, I wish something was easier, I really hate doing that, I really don't like doing that. or these things take so much time, I wish it was done differently. So when you see these patterns, try to pay attention to them and try to distinguish these patterns. In my specific case, for the product that I'm building, I already see a lot of patterns of people getting lost in their learning journey, because I see a lot of comments like, all right, so what should I learn next? Or what's the best roadmap to become X? I don't know, full stack, a mobile developer, a front-end developer, or what skills should a developer have in order to get a job? At the same time, I also see a lot of people having some issues with their fundamentals. So they are able to build these beautiful applications, but when it comes to some fundamentals that you would learn, for example, at university, I don't know, let's say a sorting algorithm or something like that, people tend to have problems. And in my opinion, the root cause of this problem is that specifically for self-taught developers, there is not a clear path of what you should learn one after another. And then people end up like choosing a tech stack that is popular on Twitter nowadays. They jump into it, learn it, and then they see another shiny thing, they go there, they start learning a bit, then they get lost there as well. So this way they jump from place to place without a clear vision and without a clear end goal in mind. That's my observations about the problems that I see commonly appear in our community. And now that we have defined a couple of them, it's time for the next step. The next step is getting out of the house and start talking with your potential customers. All right. So it's time to ask some questions. Will we find some programmers here? I don't think so. There are trees, beautiful trees. Let's talk with a tree. Hey, do you encounter any challenges while coding? I don't think so. Hi, I'm sorry, do you speak English?
Yes.
Yes? I'm doing some market research, if you don't mind help. Market research.
Okay.
And I was wondering if by any chance you are into coding, programming.
I'm IT support.
You're an IT support. So I'm asking some questions related to the learning journey of people who are starting to learn programming. Did you encounter any challenges in that particular moment when you were learning?
Absolutely everything, because I don't have any knowledge about IT support. So the office where I work, they teach me absolutely everything.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes.
And what was the most challenging part about it?
Learn all the technical skills and what can I do with a PC, and it's not all about the internet or chatting or whatever you want. It's just inside the computer and fix problem. So understand all the what is beside on the internet on the screen is very difficult for me.
That's very valuable. Can you give any advice to people who are just getting started?
Yes, to don't give up. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Don't give up, and if you can do it, you will learn a lot of skill that you can put also in your life.
Thank you very much.
You're
That was
welcome.
very valuable. Thank you very
Okay,
much. You
you're
made it so
welcome.
easy. I was so stressed to do this. Thank you very much.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. So yeah, let's get back to the office and continue from there. All right, so I think getting out of the house was more of a metaphorical way of saying this, and what it actually meant is to start talking with your end users. Start conversation and start interviewing them, wherever they are, being it online or offline. For example, when we were validating the idea for Fitinium, which is a fitness application, we actually went to a gym and we're giving a protein bar in exchange for a small talk with potential customers. So in this way, we were specifically in the place where our target group is spending most of the time, like at the gym, for example. For the project that I'm building right now, my target audience is all over the world, and I think it's gonna be the easiest if we do these interviews online. So that's what I did. I scheduled my availability for today. I posted the calendar link for today, and in 5 minutes, all 14 spots have been filled in. So for the rest of the day, I'm gonna have to run interviews. All right, so let's get going. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you doing? I am good as well. Thank you very much for taking your time and joining this meeting. As you might already know, I'm doing a bit of market research for the application that I am planning to build during our challenge. trying to understand like what are main challenges that developers experience when learning new technologies, when learning how to code basically. So I would like to talk with you a little bit about your journey of learning and becoming a developer. When did you start like learning programming, let's say? Not gonna lie, this process is quite complicated. Like it's draining my energy a lot. Half of them are done, I still have to do the rest. It's super tiring at this point, and I've been talking with my friend now, sharing with him this process and telling him that like in a moment like I lose the why for what I'm doing here. Like I don't see the value out of these interviews, and I feel that I'm doing them just for the sake of doing them. Is it because I don't ask the right questions? Is it because the format or with the people that I have to talk with? But there is something that is not clicking. So yeah, I'm gonna try to change a bit the questions, try to understand better the why behind the problems that people encounter. And also what I'm gonna try is to steer a bit the conversation into the direction that I want to steer it to. So yeah, this is the status update. Let's continue running some interviews. What was the biggest challenges that you encountered while learning to code? You told me that you used like YouTube videos to learn from. Can you share any other resources that you use to learn from? How do you keep up to date with everything that you should know as a developer? Thank you very much for taking your time and helping me with these answers, with your experience. Okay, thank you, bye-bye. Thank you very much, I really appreciate that. Okay, bye. Alright, so we are done with customer interviews. We had 14 people signed up for these customer interviews. Only 7 of them showed up, and that's actually not so bad. Like during the day I was very pissed off, but now I feel very satisfied with how it went. Still, I have to go through all of these interviews, notes, and maybe even recordings to try to summarize all the learnings that I've got. For example, the last interview that I had was specifically very valuable. I was asking very few questions and the person was answering in a way that I thought do you know what I'm about to ask you or what? So he was very specifically mentioning some of the pain points that I was expecting. I'm happy that he mentioned them without me having to ask about this issue, because sometimes with a question you make your interviewee biased towards saying something. It is very important the way you ask questions and the questions you choose to ask during the customer interviews in order to get the real value out of them. Because oftentimes we fell into this trap of asking leading questions, basically asking things that we expect to hear. So for example, you get an idea, what you do, you go to the closest person that you have, being it your friend, your mom, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and then you tell the idea and lead it with a question like, hey, isn't it awesome? Isn't it a $1 billion idea? And of course, what do you expect them to answer? They want to be polite, but they don't want to stop you from going after your idea, and they will say, yeah, of course, it's the best idea out there and you should go follow it. But that's a trap. This is not the best way to validate ideas, because as we discussed previously, first of all, you should talk with your target audience, not with people that are not part of your target group, and also to ask the right questions. So instead of focusing on asking these leading questions or yes or no questions or what do you think about this idea, instead of that, try to ask questions about the past behavior of the prospect. So for example, what are you doing now to make your life easier or to solve this issue? What you're doing now to do that? And also, if they are not doing anything at the moment to solve this issue and they're saying yeah, this is a big problem, but at the same time not doing anything about it, that means that most probably this is not a painful enough problem for them, and this would lead to a project, to a solution that is a nice to have, like yeah, like it sounds good, but it's not a must-have project. The best questions for these types of interviews are open-ended questions, because you're not trying to run a questionnaire of yes or no, because you are not getting anything valuable out of yes or no questions. When you're asking open-ended question, you let the prospect talk as much as possible, and you only are there to steer the conversation in the direction that you want. To do that, ask a lot of why questions. For example, when you hear that they mention reason or a problem, ask more details like why do you think that's a problem? Like why do you want to do that? Why you don't want to do that? Doing this, you will get to the root cause of a problem and understand properly if it's something that you can solve. Try to keep these interviews as conversational as possible. It's not like, okay, here is the first question, here is the second one. Try to steer, like, have a nice conversation and talk about what sucks about the problems that you are discussing with the prospects. What I learned from these interviews is that indeed some people, and especially the ones that are self-taught, have struggles having a clear vision in mind of what they should learn next and how to progress in their learning journey to keep upgrading their skill set and have a relevant skill set for getting to the next step. At the moment, the way they go about it is, in most cases, they just see one popular framework or one popular tech stack on somewhere on Twitter, and they jump into it, they start learning it a bit, they build a couple of projects, and then they see something more shiny, they jump over to another tech stack, they start all over again, and they do this over and over and over. And I think this is quite a huge problem, because it increases the time until you get good at one specific thing. And also, yeah, like you don't feel confident in yourself because you don't know like where you should go next. With that being said, I consider the problems that I defined at the beginning validated, and the next steps would be to start designing and thinking about the end product that we will have. But for that, we're gonna do it most probably in the next live stream, and also we will start actually building it. I hope that you find this video valuable for your journey as well, and now you have a clear vision on where you should start with your project. Don't forget that during this challenge you have opportunity to participate as well, and also win up to $1,000 for your startup. The only thing that you have to do is start working on your idea, join the Discord, share your learnings, share your journey with others, and at the end, most probably on 19th of August, in 7 weeks, we're gonna host a demo day where you will be able to present your idea to the world and compete for the grand prizes. Join me on Fridays, where I'm gonna go live and start building the technical side of my application, and that's gonna be the exciting part about it. So I'm gonna see you all there, but for that, don't forget to smash the subscribe button down below, and also turn on the notification bell in order for YouTube to notify you when we go live. But for now, take care, stay hydrated, and build awesome startups.
We did it?
How? What are the chances?